Hey, what's up there, party people? I think there's a slight delay. Wow, I look like a fat. I'm not going to curse. I tried to straighten the camera, and you could see how well I did. Because now it's worse. Oh, look at me. I think that works. Well, it works for now. What's up, party people? It's Wednesday night. It's 10 o'clock, and it's time for the happy hour with Seth. I'm a little askew, but all is good. All is good. I don't know how I did it last week to show the snare drum, but tonight I am with Fifi. Fifi is from a French company named Asba, and she's made of steel. And uh, she's the weight of like a bar mitzvah boy. She's like, no, she's I think 26 or 28 pounds, but she sounds like no one else. I love this drum. I have the whole kit. It's not practical because it weighs probably, I don't know, 1,000 pounds. But but I'm all about light and easy. And this is a cheers to light and easy. Oh, I needed that. So before we get rolling, I do want to mention uh, the elephant in the room. My name's Seth. It's nice to be here. There is a slight lag. I don't know why. I just fired up the computer. I was running a little tardy. So I am a big impulse guy. I see it online. I see it by the cash register. I buy it. Oh no, I have chocolate in my mustache. It might just be brown hairs. My mustache is like a Technicolor Dreamcoat. Um, but an ad popped up. First, I was offended. It was for Uncle Stiffy's. Uh, well, you get the rare chance to see me wearing glasses. It was for Uncle Stiffy's, uh, some kind of like inhaler that makes you feel better. Uncle Stiffy's complete nasal inhaler, 100% herbal. I would have sent Bobby some kind of artwork or a clip, but the fact is, this stuff is shit. Not only is it shit, sorry, not only is it shit, but it had it's like I don't know if you remember those Vicks inhalers. Those Vicks inhalers, they were terrible. Um, it's very much like a Vicks inhaler, and when you read the ingredients, it's like blah 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 blah, natural bullshit, 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 bullshit. So I was like, well, maybe this will get me pumped for the show, Mister Uncle Stiffy. God, the picture of him with his arms crossed, all condescending. Uh, so the show started, and we're only a few minutes in, and I'm like, I taste blood. I taste blood. Not like I'm Rambo, but I definitely tasted blood. And then I went to wipe my beak, and I'm talking like I'm talking now, and my eye catches on the tissue that there's blood. So I'm like, what the hoo ha hey? This Uncle Stiffy, so ridiculous. Um, Uncle Stiffy uh, kind of screwed me over because this stuff blows. And I bought it for the show for research. Now I feel like anything I do that's weird or perverse or questionable, it's research for the show. I'm preparing for the show. I would like to give a shout out to Trader Joe's Brownie Bites. Right before the show came on, I ate, I don't know how many come in the serving. It's 8 bite-sized morsels in the package. I think it's one serving. For me, it's one serving. Fabulous. Fabulous. And I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. Nonetheless, tonight so if you see this Uncle Stiffy stuff, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It also reminds me, and this is crazy, but I ran into an elderly neighbor. This isn't a setup for a joke. I said to her, "You, you're in better shape than me." And she said, "Honey, it's not hard." And I said, "That's for sure." And she said, "Don't be disgusting." I said, "I'm sorry, I can't help it. I wasn't breastfed as a child and, other things. I'm the baby of five, and I've heard that I was dropped on my head." And she's like, "Yeah, I don't care." I said, "What's your secret?" She said, "Don't take multiple vitamins." I'm trying to catch up to the lag. Don't take multiple vitamins. Take each vitamin separate. Don't take a B complex. Take B1 and B12 and B whatever. Be Jewish. So I said, "That must take you all fucking day." And she said, "Honey, I got nothing but time." And I said, "You're not Brenda Vaccaro. Are you Brenda Vaccaro?" And she says, "Oh my God, you're an asshole." And she walked back inside. So, and then when I wasn't home before, cousin Brian's here and the fire department bangs on the door because apparently the house across Washington has an elderly woman, and uh, she something with her life alert that this house has a key to her house for them to get in. Um, but they had the address wrong. So that's kind of weird. Like, they're banging on the door to save a lady's life and they're at the wrong house. So, I mean, I would have had fun with it. I would have had fun. I would have given them like my storage unit key thing that has 40 or 50 keys and said, "Here you go to town, save a life." So I wouldn't have done that. I would have driven the Escalade through her bay window. But so we're going to do a couple of things tonight. We're not doing the drinking thing because I want to do that closer to Christmas. Don't get me wrong. I ran out. The reason why I was late, oh, I didn't want Bobby to know, and now he's going to know. I ran out because I didn't have enough of these White Claws. Um, because over the weekend, apparently, I was very drinking them. Also, I've been playing drums like 2 hours a night, a day, a night, however you want to figure it out. But because I'm playing so much, oh, these are cold. Because I'm playing so much, I guess the beers behind the bar, not the beers, the manly White Claws, peach flavored. Those go down quick, man. They go down quick. When I open it, you're going to hear a raucous sound. You're going to hear a fucking terrible noise. We're also going to talk about Uncle Stiffy's bad, 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 bad. We're going to talk about some houseboats. We're going to talk about some storage. I do want to bring up, and I didn't send any clips or anything, but I feel like Match and Tinder and now Facebook dating are kind of weird. And I've said it before. You're basing, oh, find your true love, and you're basing it on a few photos and a paragraph. You know, I wrote, well, I didn't write this, but I could have. I could have said, secret agent. I love skydiving and parasailing and swimming with sharks. I think I wrote elderly Jew who plays drums, has an obsession with sneakers and Cadillacs. That might be what I wrote. Probably should be what I wrote. Two adult children, and I'm a child myself. So I'm an adult child. See, I tried to do it while I was talking. Sorry. This is a toast to a raucous noise. Oh my God, it's good. I'm thinking I should pour these in a Camelback and I could have it behind me and no one would know. Um, one other thing worth pointing out. Look, something shiny. One other thing worth pointing out. I was in the village of Freeport today. I love Freeport. I love Freeport. I love uh, everyone in that village. I love the Mile. I love Atlantic Avenue. I love Freeport Police. And it's a rough gig. It's a rough gig, and they're good people. So I had a flat tire, a semi-flat tire, when I was leaving Seaford. So I used my car tire inflator. Wow, this is a lag. And I hooked it up, and it fills up. Beautiful. Fills up beautifully. Uh, and I throw the thing on the seat next to me. It has like a 10-foot power cord. There's shit draped all over. Then I go to plug my phone in. I can't find the correct C type mini whatever. Anyway, I'm on Atlantic Avenue and I go to get out of my car. There's a police car 2 cars over with an officer in it. And I open my door and I kind of turn and smile. So if you're the top, I'm like, and I go to get out and the cord is somehow wrapped around my legs. So I literally go, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, ooh," wham, and I fall flat on my face. And so I'm driving, yet it looks like maybe I'm impaired. Maybe who the fuck knows what it looks like. But I was like, are you kidding me? I am going, he's going to think I'm drunk. So I get up and the cord's still around my legs. And I grab the cord and I pull, and then the pump comes flying out, smacks me in the face. And I turned to him and I said, believe it or not, I'm sober. I don't really drink uh, or do drugs or, this is just me. And he like smiled and said, have a good day. And he left. And I was thinking, wow, could you imagine? So I'm just looking down at my legs, and my jeans are ripped. The left one is bloody, and I have a giant cut on my leg like I'm 8 years old. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Um, a few weeks ago, I shared some of my smooth pickup lines. Believe it or not, I do want to say these are segues. These are my segues. This is a Harley. There's not a skull anywhere on it. And in tiny writing, whoops, over here, it says, I'm rubbing my nipples. It says Harley Davidson. And now it's going to say it closer to your face because pink. So I gave some of my pickup lines, and they're pretty terrible. So, I have a newfound liking for. I'm awed by the Chinese culture. I'm awed by it. The similarities between Judaism and Chinese culture, or I should say Jewish culture, not Judaism, Jewish culture and Chinese culture, many similarities, many similarities. So, so I came up with some pickup lines that I think could work. Uh, you talk to a girl at a bar for a few minutes, and you say to her, "Hey, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm trying to pick you up, trying to pick you up." So I haven't tried any of these yet. Uh, I like this next one, and I wrote these down because I think that they are. Look at the eyes are going already. The eyes, the beak. I wrote these down because I'm going to try them all out. Are you from Thailand? Because tonight I'm hoping for a little Bangkok. I think it'll impress them my knowledge of geography also. Uh, are you from Tokyo? Because I'd like to see Japanties, like Japan and panties, if you put them together. I'd like to see Japanties. I think that could work. Uh, this one is very questionable. Um, so it's questionable. But I have people say to me, when did you get yellow fever?" Those are air quotes. So, assuming that that's a term that people use, I could say, "Hey, I've got yellow fever and you're the cure." What do you think? Mm. I also decided that if I want to pick up perhaps an Indian woman or a woman from India or that region, I would say Pakistan, anywhere in that area. Listen, honey, if you stick with me, you won't be sorry. Sorry. I think these are good. I think these are good. And true story. When I was back in college, I remember when they invented the electricity and the horseless carriage. No, but it's weird to think that, like, in my older siblings' lifetime, there was segregation. Uh, like there was not equal rights. It's weird to think that you know in my brother's lifetime or even older, like, you know, Stan remembers when they invented fire. So he's the best, that guy. But the stories he tells when they invented fire and the wheel, he said the wheel changed everything. The fuck do I know? So anyway, in college, I met a young girl at a party. Um, I guess technically it was at a party, even though I like to think that undergrad was 7.5 years of a party. Thank you, mom and dad. Thank you. Um, my daughter once asked me, "Daddy, are you a doctor?" She must have been 3 or 4. And I said, "No, baby, why?" I said, I'm a medical educator. I do marketing for pharmaceutical companies. Why a doctor? And she said, "Well, because years." And I said, "It was 7.5 years." So, uh, but so I met this girl at a party and she was from Egypt, and so we were talking and one thing led to another. And we went back to my room and we were hanging out. And again, one thing led to another. And she said to me, you could, and I said, "I'm scared you're going to blow up." She said, "What?" "I'm not going to throw up." And I said, "No, not throw up. I'm scared you're going to blow up." Like, and she said, "You're a fucking asshole." And she left. And I was like, I don't know what her problem is. And I went back to the party. But I was totally serious uh, in my youth. No, I was exactly like I am now, but I was serious at that moment that maybe she's going to blow up. Like they say, a lot of jokes are based on truth. Anyway, this was a good week. There was something I wanted to bring up from the week. It'll probably come to me and I'll blurt it out. Oh my God, these Soundbrenner Wave earphones, in-ear monitors is what they call them. Unbelievable. I sound like a cross between Pavarotti. I don't know, they make me sound fucking great. We'll see. As the show goes on, I'll sound like a nasally Jew. It was a good week, but it was a rough week. I already told you about Dr. Stiffy. This card, I wanted to make sure I talked about Dr. Stiffy. Um, you know what? I see a roll of paper towel. I spy with my little eye. Anyway, if I have to grab it, then you're going to see my hiney. That'll be all weird. Um, yeah, look, mid-show, my beak started to drip and then bleed. Dr. Stiffy is a shitty Vicks inhaler for $38. So that's what I was trying to say before. But I saw the ad on Facebook and I'm like, oh, Dr. Stiffy, he's the shit. I'm going to use Dr. Stiffy. It's a week later, and I still have a burning sensation in my no, in my nose, in my nose. Um, Never again. I'm never going to use it again until the next time. But seriously, I feel like that's me. That's my life. That's my life. I'm like toilet paper. I really am like toilet paper. I'm either on a roll or I'm taking shit from people. There's no in between. I'm like toilet paper. In fact, that's going to be my Hebrew name is toilet paper. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. I remember as a kid, oh my God, my friend Kurt teasing me. Ha 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 ha. I bet you're still a virgin. I said, you know what, bro? I was until last night. And he says, oh, bullshit, bullshit. I said, why don't you ask your sister? He said, ha ha, I don't have a sister. I said, you will in 9 months. So I gave the old, I waited on the long line, and then I was with his mother. A lot of Rockville Center has that same story. And I remember going to midnight mass with some of my non-Jewish friends with the goyim. Um, just it was a great upbringing. I was blessed. I was blessed with a 9-inch penis. I think that priest is still in jail. I'm pretty sure he's still in jail. It was a big payout. But and I would be remiss. Listen, we're in New York. We're in New York. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up those fabulous football teams. The Jets, the Giants, their combined fucking record. There was something in Newsday, that anti-Semitic rag. There was something in Newsday about their overall record, combining the two, is the worst record in any sport history. And wait, it gets better. Um, if you look at them separately, their records are again abysmal, last and second to last, I believe. Um, but I mean, the Jets lost to St. Mary's All Girls School for the Blind. At least when we had like Sanchez, the dirty Sanchez, he was like banging supermodels and stuff. Then we had the Jesus guy, Tim Tebow, which is the polar opposite of Sanchez. What a mess. What a mess. My favorite Jet, and I have his jersey, Ray Lucas, Scarlet Knights, Rutgers. Yeah, baby. Wow, I just got loud. Let's get loud. Everything's all askew. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, so, you know, I make no bones about it. I don't apologize. I am an avid Jets fan. Um, I can't even say I like mediocrity. I think I like just the pain, the pain. I'm a Jim. Jets, Islanders, Mets. It's rough, rough, as my dog would say. My brother is a huge Giants fan. So, at least he has Super Bowls in my lifetime. Eh, eh, I mean, come on. I'm not going to live forever, but I did make a deal with someone above that uh, that I need to see a Jets Super Bowl in my lifetime. So I feel like I'm going to live forever, forever, as long as Woody Johnson, who's also going to live forever, as long as he owns that shitty team, uh, this is going to be the norm. But so my brother, uh, he loves the Giants. And he knows all about them and all kinds of shit. Also, it pisses me off that they share a stadium and that the stadium was so expensive and sucks. But my brother went with a bunch of friends to watch the Giant game in Rockville Center at a bar, Shock of Shocks in Rockville Center. There are bars and nail salons and pizza places. So my brother went and brought his parrot, and the game starts, and everyone's like, huh, you know, very beautiful parrot. I don't know. Uh, it looks delicious. Every time I look at it, I'm like, you look fucking delicious. But so he brings the parrot, and the Giants score a field goal. The parrot starts flapping its wings, and it says, thank God is good. God is good. And the bartender says, whoa, that's amazing. My brother says, yeah, and they get another field goal. Whoa, thank God, God is good. So the bartender says, oh my God, what does it do when they get a touchdown? My brother says, I have no idea. I've only had it for 3 years. So, you know, 3 years. The It's very reminiscent of Cousin Brian's monkey. Oh my God, that monkey. Minky. I'm going to toast the monkey. Hey, hey, with the monkeys. Ah, so delicious, guys. So delicious. So Cousin Brian has a monkey. Sometimes not. It's cool. It's cool because it's like having a kid that stays a kid forever, but that you got to change the diapers on, because monkeys will throw their shit against the wall. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So he goes into the bar, uh, local bar in Baldwin, um, and he has the monkey with him. The monkey's just hanging out, sitting on his lap. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the monkey jumps up, starts swinging around, goes over to the pool table, and it's like, and doing whatever monkey noises do, whatever they do. And he grabs the cue ball and he eats it. So the bartender says, whoa, 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 that's it. That's it. Take that fucking monkey, get out of the bar. So he says, get out of the bar. Take your monkey and get out of the bar. So he comes home to Club 4006, where our drinks are colder than your ex-wife's heart. And he tells me the story, and I said, that's fucked up. What's going to happen when monkey has to shit? First thing, shit. Anyway, a week goes by. Following Saturday, he goes back to the place with his monkey. Monkey sitting in his lap, nice and calm, cool, collected. There's a guy sitting there eating grapes at the bar. The monkey grabs a grape, starts jumping around, takes the grape, shoves it in his ass, pulls it out, and eats it. The bartender says, that is disgusting. Why does he do that? And Brian said, well, after the cue ball, he wants to make sure that everything fits. So it's a smart monkey. It is a smart monkey. So I had told Bobby that I'm thinking of changing my license plate based on my, the demographic that I like. So, my current plate, everyone knows my current plate is Seth Rock, and on the Escalade. I'm speaking of the Escalade. Um, oh my God, Seth Rock. I love it. I love it. That's Pearly, everyone. I love Pearly. She's beautiful. But Seth Rock, I feel like is, maybe too Jewish. So I'm trying to think of a different thing. And it came to me last night, and I sent in the online application to get this as my plate. So I think it makes more sense. I'm the king of wok, baby. I am the king of wok. I think that makes sense, Seswok. Um, so what was I? Oh my God, the playground. So there's a school down the block. I'm not allowed within 500 feet of it. I'm kidding you. I'm kidding you. Um, oh, you can't make those jokes. I have kids. Of course I can make those jokes. And they're funny. I'll never forget the night Liam told me, I actually peed a little. Liam said, you know the best part about fucking 28-year-olds? And I said, what? And he said, there's 20 of them. And I peed because I was laughing so very hard. Um, it's funny shit. It's funny shit. I've told the joke. By the way, Stan tells me to repeat all my jokes. Stan's like, "That was funny. You should tell it for the next 3 shows." So, because this is uh, kind of off the cuff, I tend to repeat myself. I'm like an elderly Jew. Actually, I am an elderly Jew. I'm not like one. Um, so, college, holy shit, just having flashbacks. Uh, you know what the difference is between a drug dealer and a hooker? A hooker can wash her crack and resell it. That reminds me of, and this might be a repeat, and then I'll catch shit from people. Um, it reminds me of that beautiful quote. I don't remember if it was Mark Twain or if it was uh, Mark Twain or Socrates, but or Stan. But I believe the quote is, "Give a man a match, and he'll be warm for a minute. Light him on fire, and he'll be warm the rest of his life." Think about it. It's deep. It's deep. It's beautiful. By the way, none of this is on these cards in front of me. None of it. None of it. That crack thing, uh, I think that's funny. What do I know? My eyes are so runny right now that I'm seeing like it's everything is blurry. What has 4 legs and 1 arm? What does have 4 legs and 1 arm? A Doberman down at that school playground. See, I have kids. I'm allowed to make these jokes. Plus, I love dogs. I love, love, love dogs. So, and I love being able to see. Yeah. So before we get into, uh, we're going to do some storage stuff because there's some cool shit coming down the pike. We're also going to um, discuss houses, not really houses, houseboats and house barges, liveaboards. I don't know how many of you watched the show Quincy. He lived on a sailboat. That's rough. The fucking thing is not very wide. Get a lot of tossing and turning. It's tough. It's tough. However, houseboats are houseboats. You're living on the water. You don't have to worry about a flood because the tide goes up, your house goes up. Tide goes down, your house goes down. Your house goes down like a St. Agnes girl on prom night. Your house goes down, baby. Tide goes up, your house goes up. Like gas prices and egg prices during the last presidency. I don't know. These are all off the cuff. Like my nipples when the wind blows go up, they go up. So, um, it's I have learned so much, and I'm gonna give you guys a little insight, but first, I would like to mention Larry Scott Pro Gear. Larry Scott Pro Gear. Um, Larry just celebrated his birthday. I've heard it said that he is, over 21, but under 100. He's celebrating his birthday all week with deals, deals, deals. He has different Vista lights. I believe he has clear Vista lights now. He has a couple of Les Pauls. Oh, I was wrong about that roll of paper towels. It's a lava lamp. He has a couple of Les Pauls, and he has all kinds of amplifiers and PAs. You can find Larry through Facebook, or you can his pictures up in almost every post office, and give him a shout. Give him a shout, Larry. I got to ask you something. I was watching the Happy Hour with Seth, and he'll say something like, "Oh, you're one of the 2 people." Humor him. It's funny shit. So, but yeah, the only thing is, if you go from Long Island, you have to bring All American. You have to. You must. Go, go, Granny Racing. Angela is actually away right now because the horses run. The horses run. That's kind of their job. Their job is to run. They run like the wind. So she's going to be on probably after the new year. And I am going to start to follow, like when I say, oh, next week we're going to have, you know, the flying nun, we're going to have the flying nun. But so go granny racing. I'm going to be down in Pittsburgh. Oh, I want to say it's like 6 weeks away. But now I'm keeping to my schedule. Keeping to my schedule. Now I did mention Larry Scott with All American. Larry's an All American. But so is All American Drive-Through Burger or Drive-In Burger. It has like a name like that. All American Burger. Oh, so good. Now I'm starving. I should really go Wednesdays and keep them behind the bar. In fact, I'm doing that next Wednesday. All American Burger, delish. Everything's made fresh. Right across the parking lot is Marshall's. All American. Oh my God. I think it says drive through uh, All American or something to that effect. Uh, and then right across the lot is Marshall's. Marshall's Ice Cream Bar. I get the Seth. I go in and I'm like, can I get a Seth? And they say, what is that? It's chocolate and vanilla swirled, rainbow sprinkles, and you dip just the tip in chocolate. Just the tip, and that's a Seth. Diane knows. Diane Marshall knows what the Seth is. So, and really, I don't give a shit if anyone else knows. I can explain it, um, and then it just builds anticipation for me. I wait a minute for the ice cream. Delicious, delicious. So the only other one that I wanted to mention is Gus at the Embassy Diner. You could see that not there's a bumper sticker right above my head. You can tell I suck at this right there. For the diner. Gus is a great guy. They have everything on the menu, and if they don't, he'll make it for you. He's a great, great, great guy. Um, they're right on Hempstead Turnpike, just off the Seaford Oyster Bay, open 24 hours a day. Delicious. Storage Wars makes it look so glamorous. I had a segue for it. Uh, it's so delicious that you'll bring the food home. It's not like you're going to store it. Ugh. Uh, yeah, no, I don't even know what to say. Wow, that girl Brandy on Storage Wars and whatever Jared, I think, is her husband. He reminds me of like a meth head, and she something oddly hot about her. I heard she was with Barry the Jew. So then my question is, I'm a Jew, Seth the Jew, Brandy. Something about her I like. I mean, she's very attractive, I think. So I have standards when I look at women. I want intelligence. I want a sense of humor. Uh, I want a brain. I want a pulse is the main thing. I like a pulse. I like a woman with a pulse. But so Bobby, I sent him some pictures of what I'm bidding on. I went a little crazy on my bidding this week because a lot of the auctions get canceled. Uh, but I'm bidding on some cool stuff. So he's going to put them up, and I'm going to describe them to you and tell you what it's about. So that is a 5 grand for a camper. That's like worth I don't know 20 grand. Now I know once you drive them off the lot, they're not worth shit. But I said I'm going to bid on it and see what happens. This thing ends tomorrow, and I'm still the high bidder. I'm guessing someone's going to jump in at a much higher bid towards the end. But that's the camper. I think it's pretty cool. And, maybe I want to live in a camper and travel the world. No, I don't wanna live in a camper. I think it would be cool to have, but I would be getting it purely as a resale. I would be getting it to flip it. This unit, yes, it has chairs. You guys know I love chairs. It has chairs, it has speakers. That to me usually means a church. Oh, I wanted to cover the towns they were in. So pretend it doesn't say, the towns. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. What, someone's gonna throw in a higher bid? Then I'll just throw in a higher bid. So, I mean, the chairs are in great shape. In the description, I believe it says that, that one of the rows of chairs are still in plastic. So that's always nice. Stuff that sits in storage and it gets dusty, musty, dusty, but for the most part, that's a fairly clean unit, believe it or not. This, unit, you could see a speaker right in front. Here's the funny thing with this unit, every 3 months, this comes up for auction, and every 3 months, I bid on it, and every 3 months, with about 2 minutes left in the auction, they pay for their unit. So I'm not sure, what the deal is. It's filled with drums, all kinds of percussion, cool, cool stuff. PA system, some chairs, but a shitload of percussion, and I'm like, "Oh, beautiful," but then it's gone. This I'm bidding on because it has 2 snow blowers, and I said, "Well, if I could get a couple of snow blowers, I would keep one and sell one." So I'm gonna tap out at 200 bucks. I'm not gonna go above it, but the snow blower you don't see in the pictures has chains on the tires, like, it's a rugged, rugged snow blower. This one is very close by. I also saw boxes to drum heads. Where there's boxes for drum heads, there are drums. That's generally the rule of thumb. That's my rule of thumb. And again, you're only bidding on what you see. So, uh, it's I guess that's like being at a live auction or if you're at a car auction or they used to have, like, slave auctions where they would auction off people. That's fucked up. Manhattan mini storage. That tiny little unit, that's a bass drum in front filled uh, with foam padding. And right now, the price of foam padding. No, I'm kidding you. Um, this is going to end while I'm on the air. So I don't know if I won it or if I didn't win it. No one is paying for a tiny little Manhattan unit 100 something dollars, sometimes 200 something bucks to store crap. They're storing good stuff. Am I gonna find the Hope Diamond? Don't get crazy. Am I gonna find some good shit? I believe I will. And some of them are just so cheap that I say, "Listen, if I could get this drum set, that's it." In this one, there's also 2 Louis Vuitton bags, which I'm positive are fake. But I said, "If I could get it for 30 bucks, 40 bucks," I think my proxy bid, my high bid on that's 40 bucks. So, you know, a massage cost me $60 plus tip. So to drop 60 bucks on a unit where I can make money back seems to make sense to me. Uh, then there are the units that are too close to pass up. East Meadow, Freeport. As long as it doesn't have a mattress and I can bring shit to the dump, if it's 10 bucks, there's gotta be tools in there that are worth it. Um, I'm like my old man, I don't figure in my time, which is a huge problem because I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm only into the unit for whatever," and I don't figure that I put 50 hours into it. Am I gonna find, like, jewelry like this stuff that I found in the basketball guys unit? No. It's this is blue collar shit. This is mostly less blue collar, more shit in this one. But again, a drum, and this is a 30-inch marching drum, and it reminds me of, like, the drum sets of, like, the 1930s where the bass drum went up to the guy's fucking chin. I think that would be fun to play. I think it would be cool. It's right in Flushing. I love Flushing. I love Flushing. So I feel like that's the easy peasy. No one's gonna bid on that unit. No one. So I'll get the drum for $30. To me, that's money well spent. That is a Pacific X7 right before the concept line. So it's maybe 4 or 5 years old. $10, man. What's it gonna go up to? Probably 500. I'm gonna tap out. If I could get that for 250, I'll take a trip down to Maryland. I'll see my daughter at Towson. I'll get some crabs, some crab cakes, some a crab shake, whatever the fuck they do. Old Bay, whatever they do in Maryland. I'll come home with new tubs. It's probably $1,000 set. So I would be very happy. Uh, this goes to the next picture. The unit appears to contain a Polaris SR slingshot. The slingshot is that, oops, it has a white cover on it, but you can see the wheels sticking out. That's it. And as soon as I saw it, I said, "Oh my God, it's a slingshot. I wonder if it's an SR or an SX." Um, you know, they run for 18, 20 grand. So I'm into it for 52. I think I tap out on that one at 55. Um, it would be cool to have for the summer, and then I'd sell it. Assuming I survive and I don't get killed. So there is also a there it is. So first of all, if you live in Bull Shoals, Arkansas, Bull Shoals, Arkansas. If you live in Bull Shoals, Arkansas, that's what you're driving. Let's be real. That's what you're driving. Let me tell you some insight on this truck. It's a 2000 Ford Excursion. It has a crated, brand new from the factory engine and transmission that were put in 1,800 miles ago. 1,800 miles ago. Do you know how much stuff I could move from storage units with that Bull Shoals Expedition? Look at that thing. It's the Bull Shoals edition. I'm not going to bid higher than that because I think to fill the gas tank would cost another 8,500 bucks. That thing is a monster, and it- I I just feel like that's the truck for Bull Shoals. Not so much for Seaford, Freeport, maybe Great Neck, but yeah. So this one, if you look to the right of the shelves, there's a motorcycle. It's a 1970 Honda CB750. In parts, that's worth 3 grand. If the bike's complete, probably parts 2,500. If it's complete, probably 4 grand. And it gets very close to here. So no brainer whatsoever. And there is, I sent it in a separate email because there is, oh, that might have been the email. Everything, the second set of pictures, that's what I like. Cars, bikes, kind of a hybrid between a car and a bike with that Polaris. Um, there are again with the technology, my phone rings and it's an update on an auction. That is way cool. That is way cool. The update on the auction feature. I have 3 different auction websites on my phone. The only thing that sucks is that, like, I have a unit that uh, the auction closes Friday at 4 o'clock. I then have 48 hours to empty it. So that's until Sunday at 4 o'clock, and they're strict on that. So I really can't make weekend plans because of that. Um, the weekend of December 20th, Jiao Ying Summers, uh, I have, oh, oh no, that's next weekend. But that weekend also, I have an auction ending. I have Jiao Ying Summers tickets. Great seats. For those of you who don't know her, she's a Chinese comedian. She's hysterical. I think hysterical. So, but what do I know? I just think everything's hysterical. I'm a happy, happy guy. So there's some cool stuff coming down the pike with the auctions. That's how you know I'm checking the time. So we got about 5 minutes left, and I have to tell you, I looked at a houseboat in Seaford and I fell in love. I made an offer on it. My offer was accepted. It is not that. That is like the ultimate, the ultimate. You're going to see such variations. I sent Bobby a big mix. So this is like a regular houseboat. And you could see it's more of a boat than a house. It's kind of cramped quarters. You can see steps going down. Here's a bedroom. It's a decent sized boat, but it's not like what I want. What I want is not going to be something I drive around. This is what I want. This is a house barge. It's a multi-level house built on a barge. And it is just, it's like living in a house. Look at that fucking thing. Look at that fucking thing. That is 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 terraces, and it is built on a barge. Look at the kitchen. The kitchen is like a kitchen, full size stove, full size refrigerator. Look at the fucking rooms. It has a wood burning fireplace, which I don't know that I would ever use on a boat. It might be fake. I think that one, when I looked at it, is fake. Leave this up 1 second because I do want to point out all of them seem to have a spiral staircase, which I think is weird because that's not like nautical by nature. That's, I guess it's when they were built in the 70s, that was the hip, cool thing. But look at this room. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And when you look out the windows, you have water all around, all around. So Bobby's going to put up again. That's the full size kitchen. So go back to that one. Look at this. Is a holiday mansion. It's not a holiday mansion. That's the brand name, like a Chevy Chevette. So obviously, this is not going to have the space that that house you just saw has. This is, but this you could go out for a weekend, shoot across to Fire Island, shoot down to the Jersey Shore, hang out with the situation, and I can't think what the chick's name is. Spooky, Snooky, Snooky, and the Sitch, and Italian Johnny and Vinny Squingili or whatever. This you could drive around, so you give up space. So Bobby's going to show you a couple that are just such a variation. Now that one looks like a house. It's built on pontoons, and it's kind of small. And I think that I have a picture with the dimensions. Anyone watching this is saying, "Yeah, that's dimensions." Look at that fucking thing. That is on like a ship base, and it's hideous. I could buy 12 of them. It's so cheap. But it's again, it's another. Someone loves that. This is what I deem to be the ultimate because it's movable. It's also, a quarter of a mil, 75 feet long, 16 feet wide, multi-level. The bedrooms are full bedrooms. But again, it's a quarter of $1 million, more than a quarter of $1 million. Beautiful. And you can take it places. I think anything over 70 feet is considered a ship. I think I could be wrong on the dimensions. Someone hit me up if you know that for a fact. So we have a couple more shows before the New Year's extravaganza. Um, I think that we're going to take some clips. I think we're going to pre-shoot me explaining clips. Uh, I would love to be flanked by like two uh, movie stars. We'll see if it can happen. I don't think it will. Uh, I'll probably end up with Stan and Jesse and Brian behind the bar, something like that. We're gonna film it probably the night before New Year's, before I head down to Atlantic City to the Hard Rock. Seeing the Goo Goo Dolls, very weak for New Year's. Friday night, this Friday night is Bobby Lacera's open mic at Paradise Studios. And I'll tell you what, I've seen clips of it. It's really good. It's really good. It's run right. And I'm not saying it because Strong Island TV is what the podcast is on. If it sucked, I wouldn't say it sucked. I just wouldn't talk about it. But it's good, so I could talk about it. When the show goes off tonight, I'm going to eat a dozen Trader Joe's cupcakes, chocolate and vanilla, half a dozen of each. It's how I roll. Literally, if I eat them, it will be how I roll. Next Friday night is the Gypsy Felons. I'm sorry, the 27th is the Gypsy Felons. The 27th at Toomey's on the Creek. Toomey's. It's not a tomb. And guys, with that said, next Wednesday night, same Seth time, same Seth channel. Be good. Be the good. See the good. I did have a really disgusting joke. I'm going to save it for next week. I do want to remind you, my YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/at SethRock1 /at SethRock1. Check things out. Subscribe. It'll make me happy. Be good. Be the good. See the good. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, everyone who watched. Thank you, Strong Island TV. Thank you to my sponsors. Thank you to the Freeport Police for understanding that I'm just a moron and was not intoxicated. Guys, have a great, great week, and I'll see you next Wednesday on the Happy Hour with Seth.